Gemini, hello. Welcome to your October read. We are going to be doing the October reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising placements. It's a general reading. It won't relate. You won't be relating to it. Not all. Let me start that over. Gemini, not all of you will relate to the messages today. And if it's not feeling like a good fit to your situation, then just leave it. It will be the right read for the people that it's meant to reach today. It may not be for you. If it's not, there are many other excellent readers on YouTube that will be doing October forecasts, and you may want to check them out. If your Sun, Moon, and Rising are not all Gemini, you may want to check out the videos for the other signs in your placements. Where there's overlap of the cards, there may be more significance for you, and the read together may be more beneficial for you than just looking at your sun sign. We're going to be taking our cue from the trees here in the northern part of the northern hemisphere this week, and as the seasons are changing, those trees are getting ready to shed their leaves, because they know they won't need those leaves in the season ahead. And when they need leaves again, leaves will be provided. And so we're going to take that wisdom and that knowing and that ability to gently shed that which we do not need, which is not serving us at the moment, and take it as inspiration for our first inquiry of spirit. We'll be pulling 5 cards to address what Gemini is ready to shed in this change of season as we move into October. The second set of 5 cards will focus on your personal growth path. What can you do in October? What's coming in October? Where should your attention shift in October to help you further along your growth path? Then we'll pull 2 cards regarding purpose. So for those that have no idea what their purpose in life may be, there may be some guidance there that speaks to you with regard to figuring out and getting in touch with, aligning with what your true purpose is. For those of you who feel fairly certain you know what your purpose is, there could be some guideposts there about next steps and how to move closer to fulfilling your purpose. So in this reading, if the first 2 lines really speak to you and seem relevant and resonate deeply, but the 3rd line regarding purpose doesn't really speak to you at all, that's okay. The sense I get from Spirit is that that 3rd line with the 2 cards for purpose isn't for everyone. There may still be quite a bit of value for many of you in the first 2 lines, and the 3rd line may seem like completely unrelated to your goals or your perception. So if that's the case, it's okay. You don't have to throw out the entire reading just because those last 2 cards are not relevant to you. We'll finish up with a Magic of You Oracle card for just a last bit of guidance. And I will be doing some some clarifiers, pulling some clarifying cards from the White Sage Tarot. The main deck today is the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krantz. All right. Spirit, can you give us some guidance for Gemini, please, with regard to what is ready to be shed in October? What is Gemini ready to shed? Any guidance for Gemini, Spirit? Cards just got really tight. I don't want to talk about it. Whatever it is, you don't really want to let it go. Whatever it is you're meant to be shedding, Gemini, there's a resistance. I can feel it in the cards. It's really, really resisting being talked about. What is it? What is Gemini ready to shed? Life is cycles. Things happen. Things come, things go. There's wisdom in that we can't always appreciate in real time. All right, so you have given some guidance here. Let's look now for some guidance on the personal growth path forward. Where's Gemini focusing in October? How is Gemini going to get the most out of October? Personal growth perspective. That's one too many. There's the wheel. We were talking about the wheel. There it is. Death and the wheel. There's change coming, Gemini. This change you've been resisting is finally here. It's happening. Ready or not. All right, so 2 cards, please, for purpose. Any guidance for Gemini? One more card, please. Guidance for Gemini with regard to purpose. Any steps that the Gemini can take toward purpose. We got 2. We got 3 instead of 2, but we'll do that. Take that. Someone else got 3 as well. I forgot who. Aries, maybe? I don't know. Okay, so let's look at the cards first in the first 2 rows, and then we'll circle back and we'll get some clarifiers. We're starting out with the High Priestess, so there's an aspect right away of you getting in touch with your intuition. It may not be what you're used to doing. Then again, I get the sense that you are actually guided, although maybe it doesn't look like it on the outside. There's a strong energy here that you are guided by intuition. You temper it with your sharp Gemini mind, but you are following intuition often, but even more so right now. There's a strong, strong energy here. You're finally listening to it. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. You're finally listening to your intuition instead of naysaying it, instead of overriding it. Overriding it, yeah, that's the word. So your inner voice has some things to say. Your intuition is heightened, even though it's usually quite strong. You don't often pay it much attention, but you are now. You are now. So what is it saying? That doesn't come into my consciousness. You know what it's saying, Gemini, and you've been listening to it. This is a question of sacrifice. What are you meant to be sacrificing right now? You're holding yourself in this waiting space. You need to release something. You need to sacrifice something for something of greater value. So there is some calculation going on for you right now. Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you choose to use as the name for this energy around us all, is calling on you to give something up. But not in vain. You're giving it up for something greater. But it's not an easy choice. You need to make that choice. Right now you're juggling both. It feels like both. It could be many. It feels like both. You're juggling 2 things, and you know you need to sacrifice one for the greater value. Something of greater value. 2 jobs, 2 roles. I don't know. There's a decision that needs to be made. And the 10 of Swords is coming up next. You see, that is not a pretty card, is it? The 10 of Swords is this just defeat, ultimate failure in your effort. But it's reversed here. It's coming out upside down. So that changes things slightly. More than slightly. There's an inevitable ending coming, is what I'm hearing. You can interpret it to say that things can only get better. That's another way that you could look at this card when it's in the reverse, that things can, you can only go up from here. Where you're at right now is such a dismal space that it can only get better from here. And then we have the sun, this great burst of energy in the end of this row. That's also reversed. Excuse me. This is the third major arcana in your shedding row, a Gemini. So whatever is being shed, I get the sense that it's quite a significant something. Role, relationship, possession, whatever you're meant to sacrifice, whatever you're considering, whatever you're deciding here, it's something big. When the sun is reversed, there's sadness. So the space you're in right now is this sort of very suffering kind of spot, and you're sad. You feel like something has failed, and you're sad, and the decision needs to be made. The waiting has to end. But what you'll be shedding in the process is this sad state of affairs here, where you feel a lot of suffering and a lot of sadness. It's really just a matter of tapping into your intuition with regard to this question that needs answering, this situation, this choice. But as we're moving into October, this is what you're shedding. This space, this way of existing where some decision needs to be made and you need to sacrifice something, and you know you do, and your intuition is really strong, and you already know what the answer is, but you don't really want to take it on. You're not ready yet to make the choice. And you're really sad. You're really not feeling very good about whatever's going on. So as we move into October, that will be ending. That space that you're in is going to shift. So let's take a look at the second line before we look for our clarifiers. We have the Son of Cups. This is coming out reversed. So much potential in that cup. But it's reversed. So the Son of Cups energy in this deck is the Knight of Cups energy. And when it's reversed like this, you're kind of in a moody space. You're disappointed about something. You're starting in October from a space of disappointment. Something hasn't worked out the way you hoped. Then we have this doozy here. We have the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune together. Cycles. The wheel speaks to the cyclical nature of life. Things begin, things end. It is inevitable that fortune comes and fortune goes. Something could be changing that brings great growth for you. The Death card is speaking to change. There is a metamorphosis happening. Something in you is shifting, and it has a lot to do with whatever it is that you're shedding, the decision that you're making. You are transforming, and whatever you're transforming into is really the next evolution of your personal growth. It's not a bad thing. So although you're beginning the month with this sense of disappointment, you're moving in the right direction this month. Something related to that decision you're making is moving you forward on your growth path, on your own personal growth path. We have then the Seven of Swords. That little fox is adorable. Sorry, my elbow's sliding on the table. Here we go. The Seven of Swords energy here It's reading here like you're a little paranoid. You think people are trying to trick you. You've got an eye out, right? You've got one eye always watching, looking to see who's going to stab you in the back, who's trying to pull one over on you, who's trying to make you look like a fool. There's that energy in here really strongly. You're nervous about this change. You're excited to move out of the space you've been in, to make a choice, to sacrifice one good thing for one better thing. And you're excited about it, and you know it's happening, and it is happening. And there's a positive aspect to that for you. But you also feel a little bit hesitant because you just assume that someone will try to trick you. Interesting. The Four of Wands comes out next. There's a nice burst of color here at the end of this row too. That blue center is beautiful. The Four of Wands is quite a good energy for you to end up in as October progresses. It's community, it's celebration, it's a sense of home, rewards for your efforts. Some people call it, like a marriage card because it's creating a solid foundation and a connection there with others, one or more others. So you're moving toward a really supported place. If you can get past your sense that everyone's trying to pull one over on you, this could be a pretty good month for you. It's a little, there's anxiety here, I think, because you are metamorphosing. I forget what the proper way to say that word is. You are in a state of metamorphosis, let's say it that way. You're in a state of metamorphosis, and the cycle is changing, and you are growing. But you're moving from one place to a place you've never been before, emotionally, I think. You're leaving your disappointment behind and moving toward being more fully yourself. And there's celebration here as we reach the end of the month. So that's pretty great stuff. Let's see where we want to do qualifiers. I want to do maybe a qualifier on that sacrifice, on the Hanged Man. Do we have a qualifier for Gemini on the Hanged Man, please? See if we can get any guidance there. It is the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So it has something to do with distractions, where you're working at something with no reward. You may need to make a sacrifice in the realm of work. There may be something you're working on that's really just become busy work. It's not really, it's not producing results professionally for you, and you're a little hesitant to let it go, but you know that if you do, it'll free up time for you to do something that actually could produce results. Let's look at the Two of Pentacles. Is there any further guidance on this choice for Gemini? The Two of Pentacles choice for Gemini. The Devil. Pretty cool card in this deck, actually, with the apple and the snake. This minimalist art in the White Sage Tarot is quite nice. So how does this qualify our choice here? You're juggling multiple things. You need to make a choice. And the Devil comes in with this essence of materialism, potentially of addiction. We've got the distraction here and the addiction quality here. Whatever it is that you're needing to sacrifice is habitual in some way, and thus it is distracting and it's not producing results. It could be, some project that you've been working on for a long time, and you really think it has potential, but it's just not bearing fruit. And You know it's probably time to accept that what once was a very promising idea isn't really going to pan out the way you originally thought. Let's look at that Ten of Swords reversed. Let's look at that suffering, that sense that things will only get better from here. They can only get better from here. Any further guidance, Spirit, for Gemini regarding the Ten of Swords or the reversed Sun? I had some readings this month where Spirit just doesn't give me the clarifiers, and I take that, you know, I'll keep looking for a while here, but if there's no jumping card, I'm going to take that as a sign that this is something that's very deeply personal, and you will understand what it is without Spirit providing YouTube video guidance. Anything further? Oh, we have a couple cards here. All right, so we have the Emperor. It's like structure, security, and the Page of Cups reversed. And the Page of Cups reversed is about insecurity and disappointment. I think Taurus had that card too. Yeah. So there's some structural issues that have led to disappointment. So something about, and I asked for the clarification on the sadness and the sense of defeat. It has something to do with a structure, a disappointment that a structure didn't work out, that a sense of a secure situation didn't end up being secure after all. And that has been disappointing. Again, with the disappointment, there's a disappointment here too. Yeah, it seems to be about that. Some structure that you thought was secure. You know, it could be a job loss. It could be a relationship that you thought was going to be really solid and last isn't working out the way you thought it was going to. Yeah, with these other work elements here, it could be about a job situation, a contract you got and you thought it was going to be great, but it didn't end up working out that way. Spirit, can we have some guidance around the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune? There's the Death card. The Death card is clarified by a reversed Moon card. Let me see if I can get this. The light is shifting now, so come on, focus. Yeah, it's very Egyptian type of art here. So the reversed Moon, something is clouded. There's some confusion and fear in you, but it has to do, its root is in a misinterpretation. A misinterpretation, that's an interesting word. You're going through a change. You're going through a change and you're getting to a new space, and it has something to do with having misinterpreted something. I don't know if it's been, this change, this metamorphosis has been kicked off by some confusion or some fear. Like you're afraid if you don't change now that you'll miss out on something. I don't think that's wrong. I think the sense I get is that is exactly right. You do need to change. You need to go through this change now and to grow personally, or you'll be missing something. And I don't know what the something is. So let's look at the Wheel of Fortune. Clarifiers on the Wheel of Fortune. Could be that you're moving into a new area of work here. And there are some indications this could have something to do with relationships, but mostly it seems to be potentially a project that you've been working on or a job situation that's changing. It's the Wheel of Fortune. Any clarifying on the Wheel of Fortune, please? We have the sun now reversed. So we have the moon reversed, and we have now the sun reversed. So the wheel and the inevitable changes that happen in life is clarified here for you with a reversed sun, which is the second time you've gotten a reversed sun. It's that sadness again. There's something about the sadness that's really, you don't like being in that space, and you are motivated to make changes because of fear and sadness. You're afraid of missing out on something, and you don't want to be sad anymore. And you feel like making this change will take you back to upright sun and happiness. Let's look at that Seven of Swords, where you're being mistrustful and you feel like people are trying to deceive you. Is there any clarification? Ooh, that one fell on the floor. The clarification here is the Star card. The Star is a beautiful card. It is about healing and hope and faith. And the way I'm reading this is you are not trusting anyone because you don't dare to hope. There's some outcome here that you want very badly, but you don't trust it. You are afraid to feel hope about this outcome that you want. It's motivating you to change who you are, and you're becoming a better person. But just feeling that hope is making you not trust. Like it's too good to be true kind of a feeling, you know? You can't trust it because it seems like it could be something really amazing. But how often does really amazing happen? Come on, let's talk about this seriously. It's more likely that someone's trying to pull one over on me. They're trying to make me look like a fool. That's the energy I'm feeling there. I want to look at that Four of Wands. I want to look at the celebration. I want to look at the happy ending here for Gemini. It's community and celebration at the end of the month. Spirit, do we have any guidance on that? Any further clarifying information for Gemini on their happy ending? Got a lot of heavy lifting to do. It's not an easy thing to change who we are, to go through metamorphosis. I mean, look at the caterpillar. It becomes out an entirely different creature. It's quite shocking, I'm sure. I need a coffee. Drink of my coffee here. All right. Let's see. Do you have any clarifiers on the Four of Wands for Gemini, please? Clarifiers on the Four of Wands. Any clarifiers on the Four of Wands for Gemini, please? Oh, it's a nice time to get quiet there, Spirit. Just one or two cards for Gemini. Give them something happy to look at. Something positive. I mean, the whole transformation ultimately is going to be quite a positive thing for you, I think, Gemini, but the getting through that transformation might be challenging, exhausting, make you a little nervous. Page of Pentacles reversed has jumped out, though not adamantly. Come on, focus. Yeah, whatever. Page of Pentacles reversed. This happiness may have a side effect of laziness. It may make you feel a little greedy. You might end the month feeling happy, but not really committal to anything. You know, whatever your outcome is, you may not be settled on it at the end of October, is what I'm sensing. Can we get just one more card on that Four of Wands for Gemini? Please, Spirit, one more card. The Empress reversed. you could be feeling a little stifled by this. It kind of seems like your shifting and your metamorphosis, it doesn't resolve itself in October. You start to see toward the end of October some progress, some positive outcome. You're having moments that are quite happy. You're feeling like you're making progress. But just be patient with yourself, because these energies that are coming out to qualify, you're feeling non-committal, you're feeling a little smothered, you're sort of feeling that you know, it just kind of, yeah, you're not settled here. If what you're seeking is a peace and a sense of assurance that you have found your place, that whatever this is has been resolved, you're not getting there by the end of October, but things are looking brighter, is what I see there. You may be having days when you feel like, I made this choice, it wasn't the right one. It was the right one. Whatever choice it is that you've come to by the end of October, it's the right choice. But you may be doubting yourself. You may be feeling like you made your choice based on greediness. You may be telling yourself that. You may be feeling some guilt and saying, oh, I just did this because I was selfish. I don't think that that's the case. I think you're quite aware as you're making the choice, why you're making the choice. Your intuition is very strong. But change is not always easy. Change can be quite hard, and when we're talking about personal growth and a metamorphosis of personality, it would be pretty normal for you to start second-guessing yourself as you get into that process. So just be patient with yourself this month, Gemini. Let's look now at these cards that have come out around the question of purpose. We have the Eight of Swords reversed. And this energy is about self-acceptance. It's speaking to a freedom that allows you a new perspective. We have the Sun of Wands energy coming in next. This great beacon. The Sun here is a Knight energy. And the Knight of Wands is very focused on adventure, fearlessness, feeling really action-oriented. And then we have the Father of Cups, which is the King of Cups. And that's this wonderful, compassionate energy comes in with balance for you. So overall, I think the message with regard to your purpose is that these changes you're making, this metamorphosis you're going through, brings you to a place of self-acceptance that might be new for you. Not to say that you don't like yourself or that you have been rejecting yourself. That's not what I'm saying exactly, but you have trouble with that a little bit, I think. You're very hard on yourself, I think, and a lot of your prior self-awareness was around ego, and this is a shift this month as you're moving through this personal growth shift. You start to truly accept yourself outside of what you may have accomplished or not accomplished, outside of how you interact with other human beings. It's really just about you and your divine. And it's quite beautiful. And it will help you. It will support you quite a bit as you are starting to move forward in your life's purpose. And then these last two cards are fantastic as well, with the freedom that comes from really accepting yourself and the compassion that wraps around you. These will support you as you go through your metamorphosis. As you accept yourself more, it really puts you in a space where you can serve your purpose in this world. Though I don't have any real clarity here about what that purpose is, the work you're doing in October is putting you in an excellent space to help further your mission. So let's look at one of these last cards for you, Gemini. The Magic of You Oracle from Fiona Horn. And the art is done by Marcela Bolivar. And I'm just going to ask Spirit for one last word of advice or guidance for Gemini for October. We have Witch. See if we can. The magic you seek is inside of you. Let it flow. It's card number 36. Excuse me. I'm going to read the book. I think that might be our last card of the deck. It is number 36, which you see there's a person there. I just noticed that. And within her hands, she holds the moon and the bird and the tree. The magic you seek is inside of you. Get the glare off the card there. This is the lucky card. When this card is drawn, a bonus appears in your life, and key events and situations turn in your favor. Oh, how fortunate for you, Gemini. Remember, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Have you taken all available steps and made all authentic efforts to be prepared for that which you seek? The witch holds her hands gently over the crescent moon, a potent symbol of new opportunities and fresh potential. Her cupping fingers allow energy to flow unhindered. The raven sits upon a branch, pausing in its journey from the underworld to consider new adventures. Leaves of gold emerge from branches. They signify comfort and beauty after periods of abstinence or loss. The witch knows herself and is not afraid of her potential and opportunities to grow and learn. In the moonlight, she willingly steps to the edge of the cliff and leaps, knowing that the natural way of the world will catch her and she will land exactly where she should. So there's a really strong message there in line with everything we've been discussing. You're getting past these fears, the disappointments, the sorrow. You are starting to understand yourself. You're shifting and growing in your personal understanding of you and your place in this world. And there's reason for celebration there because there's a newfound trust that you are who you're meant to be and that you're moving in the direction you're meant to move at exactly the right speed. And where you're meant to go is where you will end up. So I really like your reading this month, Gemini. I know there's in these cards a story of quite a bit of emotional effort, challenge, but the outcome is so amazing and so great for you. It may not happen by the end of October, but I can see it. I can see what Spirit is laying out here, and it's this picture of you growing and shifting, and you have to give some things up along the way. And there's a lot of second guessing going on about that, but you'll know what the right choice is. You absolutely will. Yeah. I hope this has been helpful for you. It's been such an honor to do this read for you, and I hope that October is a wonderful month for you. We'll see you next month, or perhaps we'll see you in the weeklies. Blessings, Gemini.